So right here in Death Valley, this is an ancient lake bed. And all these bumps you can see, it's all hard salt crystals that have come out of solution when it dried up and formed crystals. Now they're kind of covered in mud, but if you were to wash them off, you would see that they're all white. It's all salt. Now, not far from here, we're going to be sky watching tonight. We're going to have all the equipment set up with the full spectrum and the visible and so on, zoom and wide angle. We're going to be out for several hours sky watching, and hopefully we can add to the deeper mysteries here of Death Valley.
Well, guys, this is a spot that is a lot more popular than I even thought it was going to be.
Yes.
Right? There's a lot of folks here. Where are we?
We're in Devil's Golf Course.
Devil's Golf Course. So named because
This terrain is virtually impossible to walk through. I mean, you can walk through it, but it takes you forever. It's a lot of up and down. The rocks are really sharp because it's hard crystallized salt. If you fall down, you're going to get cut.
and it's so rough that even the devil couldn't play golf here. Right?
Oh, yes.
Right. So, as we were talking about, because the place is named Death, right? That's why we have the Devil's Golf Course. Dead Man's Canyon.
Everything's on that theme, it seems.
Everything's on that theme in that death dimension. We have a dimension of death.
Yes.
Right? You have a dimension of death in Death Valley just because the place is named Death. And people think of it that way. People think, when they think of Death Valley, they go, oh my gosh,
Well,
you're going to die there.
and people have died here, unfortunately.
Well, they have died.
But not as many as people think.
But where we are right now, this formation, these rocks, these salt crystals that have formed on top of this mud stuff is really, really unusual and creates an almost otherworldly landscape, right?
And what's also really neat about it is the salt heats up. It starts making tinging noises, kind of like you're taking a spoon to a metal pan, going ting.
Wow! So as it expands, it makes that
that
noise.
It's a very interesting noise, and it's really hard to hear. And if you can pick them up, it's unusual.
Unusual.
But be careful putting your ear to the ground, because you're going to cut it on this.
It's going to cut your... Well, this stuff is notorious. It'll shred your shoes. You know, if you've ever walked across this, I know, Tim, you have. I have. It is really brutal stuff to walk across. And the amazing thing is that back in the 1880s, they actually needed to cut a road across it to get the big borax wagons across it. So they had Chinese laborers come in with sledgehammers. Can you imagine?
To bust all this stuff
To
up.
bust it down and make a road through here. Now, that's more work than I'd like to do in a lifetime, honestly.
I agree.
Yeah. So this really is one of the signature places in Death Valley. It's so unusual, the landscape. And as you can see behind us, the mountains behind us are the Panamint Mountains. And they are some of the most rugged terrain. And I think that's partly why this landscape combined with the mountains, because you don't think of desert like this and you think of mountains, I think that's why it holds a lot of the mystery.
I think so, and there's some mysteries around UFOs here, too.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, look, when you look at a landscape like this, it invites thinking about other planets, interplanetary travel. It invites thinking about, what would happen if are they going to think this is home? Does this look like home?
Just because it's very alien-looking landscape?
Just because it's very alien-looking landscape and something we don't usually encounter here on Earth, but here it is. So this is really, a unique spot, and we continue our journey. We're sort of experiencing these dimensions. This is more of a physical dimension, more of a natural kind of landscape, but we are definitely going to be exploring more those areas that get us into those other realms.